Absorb is not a great starting pick, but it is 20 gems. I think I'd probably take the gems here. The best picks, you could take Angel and start your way towards Gates or Judgment. Fine white pick. I think the white wheels. White is another kind of one of the underrated bot cards, I think. You tend to get these, you can pick up a lot of whites. Anyway, while you look at that pick, I am going to... Oh, do we need... Oh, sorry, we restarted, so I need to restart Deckmaster. Like the install, I think Deckmaster needs to start over, and it's possible Deckmaster won't work today. I don't know, does anybody know if it's been functioning with the new update? I imagine new updates are tough times for people making extensions and stuff. Let's go to draft view as well. And now I'm going to catch up on chat here a little bit. Looks like I missed some stuff. Sorry for silence. I'm just catching up on chat. Real issues that is only for that art type. So like Luminous Bonds is only one of the art types for that card, right? Yeah, like Luminous Bonds is a different art. The Explorer bundle is Shocklands. No, doesn't look like it's Shocklands. It looked like it was just some commons. Vargan is estimating that the parallax effect looks like it takes about as much effort to make as the custom foil patterns on physical premium cards. Interesting. Okay, Queen is saying, I'm worried about how much will slow computers. Watching Box and his CPU is hitting it hard, but he bought all of them. Chris Clay said explicitly, again, excuse my lisp, I still have a somewhat injured tongue, which is tough in my line of work here. But Chris Clay said that it is not zero, but it is a tiny hit to performance such that they felt that they could do it without adding a strain to anybody that was outrageous. But if that turns out not to be the case, they're going to have to figure it out. Yeah, New Brew, the Explorer bundle is good for the gems. It's just slightly better than the $100 one. It's not much better. Exquisite sleeves. Are those just extra fancy? I don't know what that means. What's the difference between sleeves and exquisite sleeves? East wonders if we have to see opponents' sleeves. Probably. I think they make you see other people's cosmetics. Extra fancy. Well, we make it extra fancy. I think we're taking the absorb here for gems. But I'm with you. The people voting for Angel, I'm down. In fact, if this was a Colossus, I might even say let's take a Colossus. But I think I don't feel the need to take the Angel here. I'm going to take gems, and we'll try to listen to the bots from here. Gateway Sneak is more appealing to me than the Angel, even. This is the type of card. This is the kind of gate card I want to get. The rare is missing, so we get no info here. But I'm looking at Savage Smash and Gateway Sneak as the compelling cards out of this pack, and Gateway Sneak being monocolored, I think gives it a little nod over the Smash for me. Minor animations on the exquisite sleeves, sure, that makes sense. I like that. Valhalla asks, will the digital sleeves pass the Eclipse tear test? Funny. Do you think they will be better about updating arena bots in the future? I feel like sometimes they just blow it in the draft. We'll see. We'll see. Honestly, the one thing that my biggest regret about not being at Wizards right now is that I'm not in there working on that exact task and pushing to spend some resources to make it awesome if they are going to continue to make it a primary way for draft, especially without 8 human drafting. Yeah, East also likes the fact that with Sneak we can even put this first pick in as something to think about. So let's do it. Eel follows there, but Lawmage's Binding goes with both of our first picks. And there was an insight in the last pack. If we can get lucky here, maybe this will even wheel. It doesn't usually wheel, but it does on occasion. So we'll see. Let's check our print run. We have 1 uncommon missing. And I can't believe I don't have this print run memorized by now. But Cry and Incubation have Shark to Crab right upstream, and Macabre Mockery below. So it's definitely Shark to Crab out of this pack. We are half competing with the card taken out of this pack, but not too bad. Sky Tether is good, specifically where we're headed. I think of this almost as an Azorius card. You really want to be heading for the skies when you take a Tether. And we also have Slime Bind, which might even wheel. It can come around as a great late removal pick here. Skewer is good, but I see no need to leave Azorius to chase down this Skewer. And maybe we'll wheel something like a Messenger if the Slime Bind doesn't come back. Wujo is looking at the Guild Gate and thinking about the Sneak. Maybe you're right. Maybe we should at least put this on the table. Because Sky Tether could wheel as well. I just get excited by Sky Tether when I'm specifically in Azorius. It kind of just is whatever to me in other decks, but when I'm in Azorius, I feel like it's a Swords to Plowshares, you know, to throw some unusual hyperbole around. Here's a direct on-color gate that we could take over a Courier. If we knew for sure we were going to end up with a High Alert, I would just take the Courier, but probably just want the gate here with a Sneak in the pile. Hey, Oni, what up? Oh, hey, by the way, I put in a request to change the emote prefix from the weird one it is now to just optimal, and I got an email that says they changed it, but I haven't seen. So the new prefix may be optimal now. It may. I got an email that it was changed, but I haven't seen it in action yet. So somebody emote something and figure out what our current. So they sent me the email, but they haven't implemented it yet. I guess that's where we're at. We're in the. Looks like we're in the between phase of them saying we are going to change it, but haven't changed it yet. So look for that change. It's going to become optimal, which is a little bit long. Maybe I could have found something weird and short, but I love that we get to say optimal punt and things like that. Okay, nobody wants to vote on this one? Am I yammering too much? Maybe it's just because there's nothing good for us here. I get that feel. We could take the Wayfinder in case we end up in a Bant Gate situation. Kind of like that. There's Twilight Panther, which also leans to the possible Esper situation, which I appreciate. But since we do have a Sneak, I do like the possible gate direction that green represents. But let's also check print run here. Yeah, East asks the correct question. What is missing? Wayfinder and Scrabbling Claws have Terramander in between. So unfortunately, yeah, the Simic is being taken upstream. So maybe we don't want the Wayfinder. But also, if we're doing it for gate purposes, we may not even really be competing with the Simic deck as directly as all that. And also, what's our opportunity cost here? There's not much of an opportunity cost except the Twilight Panther. Blue seems... blue is a bit cut because we've definitely seen Simic being taken out of the pack upstream. I'm going to take the Wayfinder, and we'll just see where it goes from here. If we don't end up playing this, that's fine. There was nothing great in that pack really, so I don't mind the risk. And we'll take Duelist here. Maybe the Expose comes back super late. Is possible. With 3 Lockets, we probably get a Locket out of this pack, but another duelist, a Simic Locket, which would help if we ended up in a 3-color situation, but I'm more inclined to just take another duelist. Excuse me. And probably just end up not running the Wayfinder. Torrent has fallen, and now it's really just it kind of feels like it time walks everybody, right? Like time walk everybody for 6, which is not whatever. It just clogs your hand until then is the problem, and doesn't often have huge effect. So obvious admonition, but just wanted to comment on that card in particular. You can take Daylight here, open the gates in case we do end up this direction. I mean, we could easily be splashing white here too. Kind of like open the gates over Prying Eyes and Expose, even though these are directly on color. Neither of these are a high priority for me, whereas Open the Gates, again, leaves this back door towards a strategy that we know is really strong in the format, that the bots don't take the rewards highly enough, and that we already have one reward for. Hey, Zach, what up? Oh, yeah, let me do some update. While you guys take that thought into account in your voting, let me update the record and info here so that people coming in know what we're up to and it's not a lie. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I want format. All right, there we go. Now that's updated, and people coming in will have a little better clue. People still want the Prying Eyes, based on what I'm seeing here. I'm going to follow through on my gate backdoor. I don't think the Prying Eyes is that important. I think we can get another one. Vampire or Incubation. I guess I'll take the Incubation. This is also super replaceable, and we're likely to be able to get more. And if we do end up with Rams and Colossuses along with the Sneak, we'll want Incubation becomes more playable. I don't blame you for Vamp, though. I just feel like we can get Vamps all over the place. I don't want to lean too far into the green here, though. We'll take the Vamp here. Like, this is still just a toe dip. This is not a super important card. This is just a backdoor to get into a heavier gate deck if Pack 2 tells us to. There's a Locket, as we thought. Electro Dominance. So, 20 gems. Removal. Or either of the two Azorius build-arounds. Oh, this reminds me that we saw none of the insights come back. Hopefully we get a Clear the Mind back so we could move off of this and be more of a no-win condition Clear the Mind deck. If we did that, we want the Acuity. Part of this question is like, what are we better set up to take advantage of? Sorry, Wujo. Bling costa dinero. Yeah, High Alert is good, but we're not really there yet. I'm letting some votes come in on this one because it's a very interesting pack with 3 cards with identical mana costs that we can consider. I kind of want to try the Acuity plan. Although we're not well set up for that either. We have Admonition. Full stop. Absorb, kinda, maybe. We might get one of these back, even. I don't know. Yeah, there's support for just saying, stop it with this nonsense and just take the great removal spell. And there is an excellent argument for that, for sure. Yeah, East is pointing out that Acuity, while fun, has what I was saying, the single target, so we're not really doing anything with Acuity, and we're not really doing much with High Alert either. But we would like to do something with either. But I think we should just go with the clean removal. Clean removal, see where it goes. Now I see a ram, and it makes me want to reconsider this stuff, you know? And here's this. Ooh, this is a big question mark here. We're early in pack 2. We only have one gate, but we do haven't opened the gates. We can pivot to Bant gates, I think, pretty successfully here. But we could also play it safe and just judge. At least one person wanting to play it safe and judge. But yeah, my inclination was to risk the ram. And we'll pass on the gold, or pass on the gems to try and build a good deck here. Three uncommons. Rhythm is interesting, but we're not really there. Although with open gates, we could totally get there. It's just not super necessary. I'm down with chat. I think we just take the Night Arbiter. We're on Bant Quest here. I think open the gates probably comes around. So I'm going to take Essence Capture. Here's a great gate to take. I want this Admonition, but we saw it come around, so it's possible we'll even pick one up late. But we went with the ram, and we have the sneak. It's time to start supporting that with on-color gates when they come our way. Although here's a tough pick between these two, but I'm going to follow through, continuing to... we took the gate, we took the ram, we gotta do the gate stuff. Ooh, here's more gates and on-color gates, or a very late summary judgment. I think we have to judgment here. There's some support for the gate, but man, chat, we got a real removal spell, pick 7. Good news for our colors, that's still around pick 7. Admonition or Clear the Mind. We're now trying to just actually win the game, not spin our wheels forever, so we're going to take the Admonition. Both of them came back, and the Insight, and the Clear the Mind. What do you want? We did it, gang. We found the open seat. I think this is the, you know... I've had some people say they're struggling with the format on Arena, and the thing that's been working out in terms of getting us good decks, it hasn't always worked out on the battlefield or whatever, but in terms of drafting, I feel like we've ended up with very good decks by really just trying to listen to the bots the best we can and find an open seat. So, a lot of support for High Alert. East says High Alert, and Wujo wants Acuity. What do we get? We now have, let's see, let's take a look at what we've really got here. For Acuity, we have 2 Arresters, a Summary Judgment, and an Absorb if they try and do something to us main phase. I don't know if we can get there on Acuity from here. I'd rather almost just have the card draw. Nobody's really supported the card draw, but like, what are we getting from High Alert? The Duelists get a little better. Wayfinder gets worse. Sneak gets a lot better. Gets 2 better. No change. Worse. Very good, but we don't want to play. Very, very good. Night Arbiter is kind of the biggest reason. Sorry I'm taking so long on this one, but this is a crazy wheel to face. I'm down with the Acuity plan. I think we go to Acuity and try and maybe we get it with Colossus or something, and we try to lead towards Gatebreaker. Maybe we do get to Clear the Mind. I'm down with Acuity. Let's take Acuity. That was a tough pick. I don't know what you all think of that one. And now we got to decide Like, are we clear the mind? We can just take a messenger. We could also still abandon green, you know? If we want to just be straight Azorius, we could just say, we tried the ram and we're not quite there. We don't even really have the green. Like, right now, we're not playing green. Let's be clear about that. Like, none of our gates are green. And this is, like, hey, sure, we'll play it if we want to. And we're only playing this if we're heavy green. So it could even be something like where we splash the ram and we have a deck more like this and we find our way to some Simic gates. Let's do this. I don't think we're playing that. Optimal take the bird, says Oni. Yeah, Simic is not super available, so we got to be aware of that. We can even take a Thrall in case we get a plethora. I mean, that's a signal right there, right? So maybe we find ourselves in a very late pack 3 Esper situation. So, like, Simic is super cut, but then look at this. I guess we take Thought Collapse, right? Wow. Prying Eyes for the Acuity combo. Azorius Locket. I mean, I want this gate here, but we're probably going to take gems. It's hard to pass 40 gems when the cost to do so is a depose or a gate. Depose deploy is fine, but it's not even that amazing. I mean, you're right, it is good at what we're trying to do here with Acuity, but I'm taking 40 gems. Hard to pass good cards, but we're going to be disciplined and take the gems. You can't convince me that deploy is worth plus 40 gem EV to this deck. It's just not. It is discipline. You think it's easy? I just want to take cards that make my deck awesome. I think every time I take a pick that is for gems and not the power of my deck, it hurts my spiky soul just a little bit. But I think it also fills my going optimal soul. So Simic Gate, probably more important to us than anything here if we want to get the ram going. But Carpe wants the spy. But it depends on how we're trying to win. You know, this is where I have not. I want to watch. I'm going to go back and watch some Deathsea's Clear the Mind masterpiece. But I think if we're thinking we're clear the mind here, then we're not really interested in Skatewing Spy. We're interested in Slimebind, right? The Slimebind did not wheel before, but the gate probably won't wheel either. I'll take the gate, though, and we'll see if we can get the bind. Carpe's on throwing out green. I'm down with throwing out green right now, but this is a half-color gate for at least the sneak. Oh, it is a Slimebind, though. That's a real card right there. Same with Watchdog. I'm going to take the gate, though. I think we still have time to make that happen. Here's another gate that we could take, but I want to also want to focus on Acuity Instance, and this is the classic, so we'll take that. Here's a gate we can take, though. And don't have really the support for the Ablaze, and we're not really looking to go that way. But I think we're at the point where we can almost play the Ram, and we take the Sphinx, obviously, here. And if we accidentally win, because we actually have attackers, you know, so be it. We can take an eel, or this really gets us solidly on the ram, I think. So we probably just take this gate. That's like picking a ram right there, and I think that's worth it. Let's go Essence Capture over the Creeper. You can look at Curve, though. Yeah, we got a lot going on at 3. And we don't... This is kind of not really fitting in with the plan. Here's a half-color gate, and didn't we have, like, there was some... Oh, the Thrall. I don't think we play the gate Thrall just because we have this gate or anything. In fact, I should just pull this. The Biomancy is on, yeah, is actually on color though, and we would play it. So let's take that. It's also potentially main phaseable to trigger Acuity. A Quench we won't play. I really don't want to play Quench. If we can find a Clear Mind, I feel like we've correctly passed Clear the Minds, but maybe there was one that I should have taken earlier. Yeah, and this is, I think, just a progress. Oh, the Slime Bind did come back. Nice. Yeah, we'll take Slimy. Best of 3, so we can take a Volley. Yeah, let's take a Volley, because this is something we'll do main phase in best of 3. Thought Collapse is a main deckable card, but since we're BO3, I like the Volley. This is not really a combat trick deck. We have the Biomancy, that's as close as we're going to get. So I'm just going to take Vault Progress. Not a bad board card. The Beast might be a better one. This is an interesting, like, sometimes there are some decks that are just like, they have 3 power attackers and you put a 3/4 and it really does a great job on defense. And we have a Vampire that we can run already if we think we're running one. So I'm going to take the Axebane as a legit sideboard option, and look, we got another one of these anyway, and I'll put that right in the board. And a Quench for the board. Well, Logistics Man, what an excellent time to ask that question. Logistics Man says, what happens when you open packs and you already have a full set of a card in the new pack? Do you lose the card completely, or will it just be something else? It becomes something else. It becomes a card of that rarity that you do not have yet. And once you have a play set of that rarity, then when you get cards of that rarity, they become gems if they are rare. You get 20 gems for each rare, and you get 40 gems for each mythic. The secret sauce, though, is that you can circumvent needing 4x of everything in draft. So in draft, you only need 4x of that one card. So you can, in fact, so that's why you have 60 gems here. We drafted Absorb, which we had 4 of, and we drafted a random mythic that we are not playing, but we had 4 of. And because of having drafted those, even though we do not have 4x of all mythics and 4x of all rares in the set, we did grind 60 gems worth out of that. So I'm going to go, well, that sounds like a new sound effect. I bet we'll be running into a lot of new things that we didn't see there before. I'm going to hop on to my spreadsheet and make a note of what we just did. Come on. 60 gems in the grind. Great. Now let's build this thing. We got 3 cuts. We are all about the 3s, apparently. Are we playing Biomancy? We could just make this just Gatebreaker. And then bring in Volley on the D. Logistics, yeah, for rares and mythics. Thank you, Treyburn. It is not all cards. It is only rares and mythics. Is it your birthday, Oni? Or do you just say that when something good happens to you? Happy birthday, Oni. Let's see, that didn't work? Okay, so is it optimal now? Okay, so it is optimal now. I don't know if that changed from before, but we now have the prefix of optimal. Yay! Oh no, you did it. I didn't. Did it work at all? Oh no, I did. I did. Okay, yes. All right, we found it. Anyway, let's build this deck and play some magical cards because that's a really fun thing to do. Let's check our numbers. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's card back selection. I see. 9 creatures, 17 non. That's fine. We're not really looking to be heavy creatures. In fact, let's cut a vampire. Let's go lower on creatures. Maybe cut both vampires. You want one of those vamps back in? I don't really care about the vamps until... In best of 3, I like starting one in best of 1, but in best of 3, I like bringing them in out of the board. Excuse me. Especially when we're so stacked at 3. I'm looking at the locket as well. We don't have a ton of card drawing for a Clear the Mind, or for an Acuity type deck, unless we get the Acuity going. But maybe we have enough between Prying Eyes, Insight, and Acuity. The thing with it looks like this isn't a mana-hungry deck, but the trouble with these decks, you still end up wanting a lot of mana because you're trying to do multiple stuff a turn and everything. Yeah, we could maybe cut a Duelist. That's not a bad thought. It's not really how we're trying to win this game. It's just kind of a little tricky thing to do. Yeah, I kind of like this, and we could get rid of the Biomancy too, although this allows you to bounce your own stuff, and if your stuff gets enchanted, this is a good way to get your... Well, Double D's, we have Clear the Mind in the deck because it's so grindy, we don't want to find ourselves decking and without a way to win, but I don't think it's a no-win condition. Like, we are trying to just get there on Night Arbiter and Sphinx and stuff. But we'll see. Yeah, right? Like, this triggers Acuity as well. So, let's try this. I'm going to try this. And I don't think we definitely don't need that forest. Do we need, how many do we need? 4. We probably don't even need the 4th. I think we're okay with the 3 gates for the ram. And then we're looking at blue having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. White has 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 9-9-3. I like that split. We don't want to skimp too much here. We got a Sphinx, so adding a forest is a serious cost. So we're going to skip that. And not quite clear. Oh, 38. We got to add... Oh, great. So we get 10, right? We're just doing boom, boom. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. No, I cut lands on purpose, but then because there's no number at the top of the column, I forgot I didn't actually add any back. I just counted what we had. Given that I was okay with 9-9-3, you could argue that we could go for 10-9-4 or something, but I still 10-10-3 makes me even happier, honestly. And with Absorb and Thought Collapse, if we did go 10-9-4, we could go 10 island. We could go 10 island, 9 plains, 4 forest. You know, we have the done button's covering it up. We have 3 gates. So we have 3 sources for Ram and Biomancy, which I'm comfortable with given how deep we intend to go in the deck. We're expecting to go pretty late, and that's the thing to consider about splashes. Like, the kind of mana you need to splash a 5-drop in an aggro deck is a lot different from the from what you need to splash something like a ram in this deck, you know? East wants more blue, and I get it, but the only play... Yeah, ooh, the Essence, you win. The Essence Capture's got me. You win, East. I was going to let it slide for Thought Collapse and Sphinx, and Absorb, but when you look at the double capture we're doing, I think the extra blue makes very, very good sense. So we're going to might be a little light on white for the Sphinx when we want it, but it's worth it to be capturing on 2. And I'm going to print this here screen. Ice, I think it is. Let's go back and answer that question real quick. Ice Tiberon asks if the applied biomancy. This is the questionable splash. I think the ram is a great splash because we do have. Let's keep in mind we have the sneak, and so I would likely play these half-color gates just for the sneak. The fact that they then also support basically for free a possible, 3-mana 6/6/7/7 type attacker as a way to close out the game. I like that. And Applied Biomancy narrowly made the cut because of its interaction with Acuity. And I'll say this, though. If we don't see a lot of value from the bounce side of this card, and so I'm looking for an opponent who is playing huge things, and so the tempo hit is big, or who is augmenting their creatures with auras or counters that they can't adapt back, or who is nullifying our creatures with aura-based removal. Those are the things that I'm really excited to keep the Biomancy in for. If we see none of that, it's a good candidate to swap out during sideboarding, but we're going to start it in the effort to have the Acuity be more functional. Ice wants a Fairy Duelist, so fair enough. What we'll do, what I've said this before, it's just a data point. It is not a way to decide the issue, but if we draw the Biomancy, we will ask ourselves if we wouldn't really just rather have it be a Duelist or a Quench or something like that. Okay? But you may be right, Ice. That's my reasoning. We're going to give it a shot, and we can play around with it as we go. That's a good point, Sunset. It's not a great Duelist deck. That's why... I mean, we had 2 Duelists and cut one of them. And that's kind of why. Thank you so much for the friendly... Look at this. All right. Correct scene at the beginning of the game. Great. We get Essence Capture and Duelist up if they manage a turn 2 play, in which the Duelist would be a good block. I'm happy I would have captured anything, and I'm going to go ahead and no value Duelist here, or low value. I mean, a 1/2 flyer is not nothing. And we'll get Sneaky while they're only on white. They seem like they're missing a color. Nice. We don't even need that gate yet. At least right now. Unusual for Oppo to have 4 mana in 2 colors and have done nothing yet this game. But we'll go ahead with an Acuity. We could Sphinx or whatever, but let's just Law Mage's Binding, and then we have Essence Capture up. That seems great. And the Sneak gets through, so... Easy breezy. I think you're not doing great if your first spell of the turn is a Thrall. I mean, the deck might be good, but Oppo probably took a gamble on their starter, and it didn't really pay off there. Yet. Maybe they'll unleash a torrent here. Yeah, we'll capture that so they don't get value out of that Thrall. We get to put a counter on our sneak, and they probably don't have another blocker. I don't want all these gates yet. I want them for when the sneak can't get through on its own. Maybe we'll find a regular land here. Nope. I don't think it's worth not casting, or not playing a land, so we'll go ahead and play the gate. Especially, we'll play the green gate in case we draw the ram. I think we've drawn too many cards for Oppo to get out of this one. I'm just continuing to use removal on these Thralls. I don't want the Thralls in the graveyard where they can be bought back. Oppo's had enough. I think they just got a bad draw. I mean, they played two excellent cards. It's just that when those are the only cards you play in the game, it's not enough. So what do we like against Orzhov? The Rams, or the Vampires, are bad against all the spirits we can expect. It was slow Orzhov that game, but I'm not going to presume that their deck is slow. They're just, that draw was. That draw was slow. Duelist seems pretty reasonable against Orzhov, but I don't know if I want to bring in another. Biomancy has uses on like the spirit tokens, and the enchantment removal is really more in Azorius than Orzhov, but we could face some enchantment removal. Volley, yeah, let's bring in the volley. I like that. Maybe for the Biomancy. If they have IGI, I don't know if we like, when I say enchantment-based removal, I mean that we use the Biomancy to get our creature out from under enchantment-based removal, not that we have removal for enchantments. Yeah, we don't. When is it optimal to go for traditional draft rather than quick draft? Let me get this submitted here. Actually, yeah, one factor is whether the cards in the boosters matter to you. Let's send this in. I really ought to redo my EV numbers for someone who is drafting enough to start grinding gems, because the thing with the new economy is those the extra packs that you win in best of 3 now have more relevance, because rares and mythics out of prize packs go towards getting you to grindable levels of rares and mythics faster. So best of 3, before taking into account gem grind, best of 3 and best of 1 had a pretty similar gem EV. So I would imagine that best of 3 is now better, given that there's no, especially for someone better than average, because there's no skill tax in best of 3, and if you are going to be grinding enough if you're going to be getting enough of a collection to turn wild cards into gems through drafting, then those extra prize boosters really matter. So that's kind of interesting. Why don't we... I was going to bind that here. It uses our mana. It's not a very big, but it also has afterlife, and I like binding things that have afterlife. It also just means they're probably going to sack it or bounce it at some point. Another reason to keep add East to wait is if we find Acuity, then the admonitions start really doing work. But the messenger is weak enough that I'll use one of these admonitions on it here. And maybe they'll give us something better to bind. Like that. We got a lot of binds here. We can bind it with slime or law. Thrall, would you like to be bound with law or with slime? Your choice. Let's go. They got blue, so let's just bind it now. And then we may be able to slime something else they play, so... Yeah, maybe slime was correct, because we care less if it dies, whereas this we don't really want it to die. And like, yeah, I don't really want to bind it. Yeah, I wish I'd swapped it. I think it's not it's just suboptimal and not really a punt, but like, yeah, if I could do it over, I'd use the slime bind on the thrall and potentially use the law mages on the messenger. I'm just gonna pass though and take a draw here. See what we get. Well, our sneak is running out of things to help it get through, but I'm gonna play that gate. It's not much value, but I'll duelist here. This deck is going optimal. Or we went optimal. Man, they're just all thralls all the time, and we'll go ahead and slime bind this one. Well, do we see? Because the other thing is, like, it's really relevant that a 3/3 flyer can still block. Is the thing. That's the reason. That's the argument not to. So yeah, I've talked myself into actually just doing this one too. Sure. Now you show up, sneak. That's all right. We'll toss down the sneak, and if they try to leave the messenger back to block it, we can bounce it. If they create another blocker, we're probably not getting it through without a gate. But while I don't like to see them drawing cards and gaining life, it makes it more likely that our sneak will be getting through. Ah, no, they got a second. Oh, well. So unless they attack with the messenger, we're not getting through with the sneak without a gate. Oh, they want to. They're getting frisky. All right. I'll take it. How about an acuity off the top before we do all this madness? Come on, acuity. Nope. No acuity. I guess we'll wait on playing that until we've admonished. Night Arbiter will come down this turn and be annoying for them, I'm sure. We're behind in the race, but wow, and that does not help. Too many thralls. Too many thralls. Do I have any 5-color decks? I don't know what you mean by that totally. Are you saying, have I ever drafted a 5-color deck, or do I have a 5-color constructed deck, or in my personal collection at home somewhere do I have a 5-color deck? Well, we definitely get the Arbiter. If it was, yeah, I don't know why they didn't replay the Pegasus. Maybe they're trying to, I don't know. I have no idea. But we can Mungo here and still have Thought Collapse. I'm not going to collapse that. We have Slimebind if we were somehow really desperate, but that card doesn't have good attacks into the Humongulus, so it doesn't really matter. Our big issue is what's going on up top here. And we're going to go ahead and bind the Thrall. Oh, okay, sorry, no blocks, first of all. Then I get to do this. This leaves us down on Thought Collapse, but it only matters for if this card were something special. We can tether the messenger, and then we are stable. Got a long way to go here, and Oppo is drawing some extra. But hopefully we'll get the best of whatever they drew there in the last handful of cards with this Thought Collapse. Yeah, Scavenger as a 5/5 gets through Humongulus, so we gotta collapse this. Or try to. We'll see if they've got a counter. Nope. Ooh. Dodged that. That would have taken Night Arbiter and Duelist or something. That's pretty good. So note the pause there. They could have like full control on, but I don't see anything here that would cause that pause. So it feels like something's going on up there. Yeah, maybe a useless quench. That would explain it, wouldn't it? One, two, three, four, five, six. They currently have enough onboard power to actually trade with the ram, so we can't attack with that right now. Freeing up a Thrall makes a lot of sense. We're going to take this hit and see if we can find an answer. We'll block the Pegasus with the Duelist. That is not an answer. I'm not going to show it to him yet, though. It is a pretty greedy... Their low curve stuff is bad to non-existent, so like we haven't seen any grandmas of what we've seen. Who knows? Maybe they have 5 grandmas and just haven't shown up yet. But so far, the low end has been pretty underwhelming. We can block here and go to 2, which next turn allows us to Fairy Duelist Chump to go to 1 and give us another couple draws unless they can apply additional pressure. Nope, we lose right now. Oh no, they, did they let auto tap screw them? Looks like it. Well, because of it, we get a gate and 1 more card, but I think we're just dead. We need what? We need, do we have a thought collapse? We need to, like, absorb. We draw our absorb, I think. Oh, that's not working again. Let's see. Yeah, Ram can attack. It just dies to the Grudian, though. Like, I'd rather have it. It's not, I mean, it gets for 5 damage, but that is irrelevant to, yeah, we want capture. There you go. Nope. Not this time. But let's make him do it. Whatever, they're going to cast the spell. It's silly. What were we talking about? There were some thoughts on changes given this matchup. Let's see. Yeah, they're really up in the air, aren't they? What else can help us in the air? Duelist comes back in just because it's something else in the air. It's just so bad against what they've got in the air is the problem. Like, it blocks a Pegasus, but, like, nothing else. Then it's just an air chump. Tower defense. Let's consider it. The trouble is we don't have a ton of creatures to reach up and and do the blocking. Yeah, I like Quench. I think you're right on Quench. They are playing a lot of expensive. We haven't been impressed with their early drops so far, and their late drops are oppressive. And we know they have a mass manipulation. How about quenching a mass manipulation? As Neckfurters points out. So yeah, I'm down. Good call. And anything else? No, I think this is good. I almost want to take out this other duelist because, again, they're just so bad, like, against actually what they're doing in the air. This just ends up being a chump. Yeah, I'm going to cut it and bring in the... No. All right, fine, I'll play it. It's really bad. It's really bad. I couldn't quite add a 3rd green card. I was considering just bringing the Biomancy back in. Yeah, we'll keep... Probably Quench anything, but hoping to use it for their later stuff. Ideally, they just don't do anything, and our first play is like a sneak. Oh, they're going to 4. Pressure's on to win this one. They're going to 3. They're going to 2. I think they're scooping. Sorry, Oppo. I don't see how you can mulligan a 3. Is there a... I guess if you drew, like, Thrall, maybe you'd mulligan the 3? I'm going to leave Quench up, because if they happen to have a 2, I will Quench it. I mean, we'll trade 1 for 1 on literally anything here. And this is what I was hoping would happen, though. By waiting, we can Gateway Sneak, and then have the gate to get the sneak through. I'm going to talk this through as though our opponent did not mulligan to 2. I mean, we've got a very good probability of winning here. We don't even need that. Let's try and find a basic land here. Yeah, we went shields down on Quench, and they got a pretty good resolution, but we're going to keep it available now. Oh, man. All these gates coming at the wrong time. Well, again, not going to play it. I guess I could, like, clear the mind, but nope, we're just going to do this and pass. I'm going to let that happen because we can just bind it. There we go, we'll do that. Have prying eyes up. Yeah, sheesh, Falco. It's an unnecessary time for gates, is a way to put it. Well, just Acuity. I was going to leave prying eyes up, but prying eyes is better with Acuity, so let's drop it and hopefully find something to admonition. See if they play another creature that we can bounce. Man. We'll quench this one, though. The Acuity gets to go back, but we're not going to let him have the cards. It's true. It would be amazing if they stabilized and won from a mulligan to 2. I'm not looking to help someone accomplish that, but we have the deck we have. It's not like this closes out games instantly. I shouldn't be playing lands before I connect with Sneak. Bad habit. Yeah, we'll do that. No need to clear yet. Leave Binding and Admonition available. Yeah, probably just tether that. Or we could bind it. Let's bind it. Yeah, because it can block Sneak if we do that. This uses our mana this turn and allows us to Prying Eyes main phase or Insight main phase. Let's start with the attack. Oppo doing an amazing job on a mulligan to 2. I tip my hat to Kawazi regardless of how this plays out, because that is a really remarkable... you know, again, we're a slower deck, so that's going to happen too. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we use Sphinx's Insight, we go down to 5. And then we draw 2. This comes back to our hand. We go to 7, then to 8. Then we recast Acuity and have to discard, but it's probably not a big, not a bad discard. Yeah, I mean, you don't think I should have... Would you have stayed shields up and not have played a Sneak? I mean, on the Emolda 2, like we had to do that. I mean, what you're saying may be true, but I'm saying, would you have done something differently? Maybe let's look for counter magic of our own. Let's do the Insight. All right, cool. Asked and given. But we got to do the blatant tell here by discarding a plains rather than casting the known Acuity. But we counter that Acuity, and then I don't think they can win. So we're just going to do that. Yep, they agree. Well played, though, Oppo. You really toughed it out on a Molda 2 that was impressive. This is like an 8 creature deck, I think. Oh, 6, sorry. Overshot by 25%. Or no, wait, how would you do that? 33%, right? There were changes? I'll discard them. Oh, thank you. Gosh, I forgot yesterday too. Being lazy. All right, and switch to a easy to complete 750. Thank you, East. Yeah, we did some cosmetic talk early. And the main conclusion, since we do have a bigger audience right now, I'm going to jump back into the store and just summarize what we learned this morning in our look. The main takeaway for the economic-minded player is that this one-time welcome bundle of $15 for 3,500 gems is still a better deal for gems than the best always available deal of $100 for 20,000. The equivalent of $15 for 3,500 is if you spent $100 worth at this rate, you would get about 2,300 plus gems. So it's like a 3,000 plus gem bonus on your $100. And yeah, I kind of like it. I think this stuff is cool. I kind of want these sleeves. I don't know if I want to pay 2 drafts for it. 2 drafts just to have sleeves. And yeah, existing players get everything that new players earn under the new player system. Yeah, the gates look cool. We might get those. That is sweet. The Izzet gate especially. It's a good one to put up front. Pretty. Anyway, that's the big takeaway. Buy this if you need gems. And if you love cosmetics, go for it. Oh, because if you know nothing about them, I will say what I learned, which I wasn't sure what it meant in terms of, like, when I first read about card styles, I thought that you made a one-time purchase of parallax, for example, and then you could turn on parallax and all of your cards would be in parallax. And I thought that sounded cool, but also was like surprised that they were so generous. And I was like, oh no, they're not generous. They're working it. The parallax is card by card, so you get you basically get a special sleeve for your Gift of Paradise, but it is not a Gift of Paradise. It is just a treatment for Gift of Paradise or whatever. That's this special look. You see how when this card moves around, the mountain range in the background shifts at a different rate from the palm trees in front of it, which shifts at a different rate from the bushes in the very foreground. All of that is to give a sense of 3-dimension and depth in a 2-dimensional image. Oh, I'm like describing a thing you all can't see. Apologies. I'll show you here. Let me get up here, and I'll do that again. So this one in particular, I was saying, you can see that this is a piece of 2D art, but through kind of layering it and making the layers shift. I don't know how this is done. I'm no technical artist, but basically it's taking a piece of 2-dimensional art and making it have a feeling of depth. You don't get any cards, you get a thing that you can put on your existing cards. That's another thing. I don't know how you know what you have. Maybe there's a way to see in collection. Let's take a look at collection. See if there's new stuff. Like, yeah, this looks like the new bling button. And let's show me any owned. What if I do this? Ah, 1,000 gems for a rare. I wonder if it's different. 600. Yeah, so you can do any one you want. I don't see us as owning any yet here, do we? We don't have any, do we? It looks like they're not available for all cards yet. Sweet. Yeah, let's find a mythic, shall we? Probably 2,000 if a rare was 1,000. Elkite. Oh, 1,200, not bad. Oh, cannot be purchased at this time. Interesting. So they're showing a lot of styles, not even all of them are available. Interesting. All right. Oh, sorry, East. We're just about done. Cosmetics aren't for everybody, but it's the news of the day, so we gotta check it out. Let's update our record. We got a win here. But when I logged on this morning before you guys were with me, Sparky gave a whole thing and said, you did it. Congratulations. So I think whatever I should have gotten from that, I should already have it. Thank you. Jump there. Woof. Does give us essence capture, though. And we're a white away from getting Acuity going. And we have a slime bind for some early defense. So we can actually keep this. I see. Code to redeem tomorrow. Well, we got our white, and we have a slime bind and a capture, double capture ready, so we'll capture anything they do here, probably. Definitely. Oh, cancel, submit. I'm going to Acuity here. We'll shields down on capture for right now. We don't have a sneak to get through, so we'll play the gate so that we can have 5 on next turn for either capture plus slime bind or whatever we draw, or just the Night Arbiter. I kind of want the essence capture up for their next turn because I think they're going to do something big, but they're a Gruul. They're going to keep doing big things. Let's go ahead and make the Night Arbiter. And next turn, or we could make, yeah, let's do Night Arbiter, because if we can get make this a 3/6, I think it's going to be very good against Gruul. They should. It's Melsocles is asking if it applies to limited, and I don't see why it wouldn't apply everywhere. Cool. Good time for the ram to show up, and we even have the essence capture ready afterwards. I want to make it look like maybe I've got something green for them to be worried about. What we can't deal with really is more gatherings. I don't want double gathering here. Double gathering would be the worst possible outcome. But not even insurmountable. Like, there's one. I just want double gathering. We're going to go ahead and attack. If they try and gang block the ram, we get slime bind to blow them out. Now, I think I like Admonition main phase for the Acuity and a... and I'm going to go ahead and let Auto Tap do its thing there. I could have just, like, killed a token, but I like setting them back the mana. And I don't think the tokens are going to be the end-all be-all here. Okay, we can play this. Again, it kind of... Also, the other thing, like by bouncing a creature, we know they have something to capture. Well, it's not... No. Double strike is a lot different than an extra point of damage to the player. Yeah. Yeah, Burn Bright could be bad. I stand by my choice, though. It's about having an essence capture play here for sure. Could even put it on the ram if we were really worried about the goblins getting too big for our britches. And then with the slime bind, it's very unlikely. Although, just taking unblockable points seems correct. That's a high cost. I wonder if they have another one of these, because losing 2 of them is pretty real. Let's get Acuity down. That's good. We can put that on a caster if we want. Everything we've got has Vigilance. I've never played it or seen it played. I would absolutely play it in this deck. I've never actually played this deck, though. It's never been correct in my mind. Did I do anything? Okay, they're just giving it up. I was like, gosh, we have 9. Did I miss lethal? But we don't think we missed lethal. We just got him to 1. Okay, what can we do about a horde of 1/1s? Things like a duelist become a little better because it's at least blocking those successfully. And maybe we cut a Locket out as not doing enough against that kind of aggro. They're low down. We could consider the quench, but it also means that they get hard to quench in the mid-game. I think I like this. Vampire is not bad because of the lifelink, and given how aggressive they are, but it's really bad against a horde of 1/1s. Yeah, Vampire could save us, but it could also just be useless. Although, sitting back and just gaining 3 and a big attack could matter. I'm going to try it without... Let's see if we can get this done Vampire free, and then think about whether those vampires are... I really don't like bringing vampires in against 1/1 tokens, even if they're being aggressive. But maybe I'm wrong. Is Us the new Peel movie? Oni? Yes, good. I have not seen it, but somehow my mom has. Like, and my mom doesn't... Like, I think she liked it. I think she was a little confused, but, like, one of my all-time favorite movies is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And my mom saw that and was just like, I had no idea what was going on ever. It's like she doesn't... so... I'm wondering how she managed to even... I haven't seen Us, and I don't want spoilers, but I imagine it seemed very psychological in its thrill, and I can't believe my mom even went to see that. I'm deciding whether we want Duelist available. We don't. We do have a couple of bounce spells and an essence capture, so we could end up in a place in this game where that hybrid becomes a 6/6 and we send it back. We could play another gate here and still have the essence capture. If we play a plains, we have the admonition now. And 4 damage is a lot. Another thing we could possibly do... Actually, I think what I'm going to do is this. Here's the new plan. It's possible we essence capture something, but I think what I'm going to try here is to Fairy Duelist to reduce some damage here, and then untap, and we have essence capture Biomancy. Okay, that's a little ugly, but we'll follow through here. And reduce this damage by 2. We don't have any blocks that further reduce any damage, but we reduce it by 2. So yeah, now I was thinking we had, if we play Island here, we get Biomancy, and Biomancy turns the Duelist into a 2/3 that can eat the hybrid and bounces the 4/2. That's why I liked this play. It might not work out. They've got open mana, but we got to try. Oh, it went right to us, so I don't think they have anything for this. We want both, and we're going to give this creature 1/1, and we're going to send this to hand. Let's see, that's pretty good for them, but we get to keep... we get to play the Ram and still keep the capture available, so I like where we're at. That enchantment could be bad with these 5, but we have a way to gain some life if they try the... Yeah, so more of that is rough if they play the enchantment now. All right. We want... This gives us 2 life, which is more than the 1 life we would get by bouncing one of the tokens back. Although it becomes 2 life because they need multiple attacks to get us through. And it keeps us gives us the essence capture play still. So I'm going, and we are only, let's see, we have Biomancy. We didn't bring in the Sky, so we're done with green cards, so we can go ahead and let it auto tap. We do get to start attacking, and we even have a judgment that if we need to, we can use on one of these tokens. So they're attacking with 6. Oh, I should have played a land. I don't know why I didn't. Missed a land drop. Mild punt. Yeah, there's a way in which I didn't even see this as a land because of its dualness. Really what we want to know now, though, is do we reduce this damage with a judgment? And I'm going to say no, because I believe that they're going to come down with the 4/2, and we just want to counter that. Yes, if I bought the gate bundle, it would have been clearer. Good point, Sheesh Falco. Good point. So they don't even want to bother with that. So I'm going to judge one of these now. The gate really matters now. I'd love to be able to insight and be sure that we have essence capture up, and now we can't. So that matters. But I'm going to risk it because... I think we're pretty stable here, and with 2 extra cards, we will be very stable. Not going to forget this time, though. Or rather, two extra cards should help us stay stable. It doesn't make us more stable, it's just cards in hand. Yeah, I like having the ability to bounce these tokens and not even lose card value to do so. But this is their big turn. You got a window, Psycho. You got to make this shields down moment count. Hey, Fiddles. This shields down moment brought to you by my punt. And they did get a creeper through. Hopefully it won't super matter. What part is over loud, Grave? It could be something on my end, too. There might be ways I can help with that. I'm going to bounce the creeper now because then it's just smooth sailing for the ram. And we get the play on the comeback, on the, you know, the come down play. Yeah, I don't know if that's me or the person you were watching or Twitch, honestly. If anybody has any, yeah, like... Alright, they're done. Two-0 easy game, kind of, except not. Yeah, I didn't think I was out of line, or I would have heard something by now. Just curious. Another good-looking start. And we will drop our on-color... Well, we did draw a plane, so maybe we don't need the on-color gate right now. Yeah, I'll do the green gate in case of upcoming ram, and then we get to drop island and have essence capture. I might decline unless it's a very good creature, though, because getting sneak down and then capturing the sneak is big game. But let's not be greedy. If this is a good creature, we'll take it. All right. Not even a creature, so now we get to see if they have a quench. No quench, but they got something. There was definitely a pause there, so could be a lot of things. Sorry. Just hit my my sore spot for the first time pretty heavily since for the day, you know. First war wound of the day. Let's go gate. Yeah, fairy is always possible in a spot like that. If we go locket, we could tether the Beastmaster and still get through with a sneak again. And then we untap with the possibility of admonitioning if they cast something else and essence capturing that. We could admonition this right now, but then we're tapped out, then they replay it, and all we've done is really cycle the turn. I'm going to go with Locket, and then Tether. And then next turn, we have Gate, Sneak, and Admonition with Capture up. And perfect, like just perfect. Ooh, almost did the wrong thing, though. Then we don't have... Oh, yeah, we still... we don't get the card this time, but we really want to do the bounce thing. So we're... Oh, no, sorry. I almost did the mistake that everybody seems to make all the time, which is the lockets over here. We can do the gate and do everything. But let's go ahead and start then with the admonition. That's a backbreaker. And we even have another gate to be extra mean. I'm going to go with Prov now. And next turn we have Acuity into Admonition if they play something else. More bounce. And we got some upcoming card draw. I guess I shouldn't do this until I do this first. Oh, sorry. That was really dumb. I should have Acuitied first, of course. Misplaying the Acuity deck. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do this now. And they'll block. They'll replay the Arbiter. And then maybe next turn... So next turn we can make this a 3-5, bounce the Arbiter, and then they don't get a free block with the Beastmaster. They'll probably still chump, but that'll be good. Really silly not to get the extra card and 2 life out of that, though. But we kind of get some extra here out of it. Little value town. Yeah, we'll even send this back out. This one's over. Can't believe they didn't just give up the tethered Beastmaster for that card. But maybe they're like me and are just waiting to die now. There we go. Exploding Planeswalker. 1 to the good. All right. Let's get another game here and hit profit without a loss. Gruel, you say? That was pretty gruely, right? Was there anything else going on? No, that wasn't gruely. I was thinking of the last opponent. They showed multiple stuff. They showed Bant, right? It was more Banty. So they're kind of like, it's more like the Bant mirror. Maybe we do need the volley. Are they going to play flyers? Seemed like it was more green than flying based. It was like heavy green. But they could get up in the air. Maybe we should make them have something before we put that in, though. I mean, literally saw no targets the first game. They're playing pretty big, though. We could quench it, maybe? I think I'm okay with that. Didn't see too much to change, but we'll keep an eye out for flyers in case this goes to 3. All right. I don't think Mungo's ever going to be great unless they're specifically playing nothing but 4-power ground creatures, but this isn't GRN, so even though it's never going to be great, I think that kind of 2/5 can't interact with me with spells type creature is worth keeping in against a deck showing a lot of green stuff on the ground. Trying to decide if we need to have the duelist ready. I'm going to say no. Let's play another gate. And now we will set up to have Thought Collapse ready, though. Hey, buddy. Rocket's going out to enjoy the sunshine. Do I care about that? I guess we could just judge that, but I think we have bigger... I really don't want to use anything valuable on a commando, but it's 3 damage a turn, and right now we're not doing much about it. Yeah, exactly what Nick is saying. Bad. This is what John Louts like to call keyword bad, where people make mistakes against bad cards because they don't want to use resources on them, so we can't be fooled by keyword bad. I'm just deciding whether we're going to use Judgment or Binding on it, and I guess we just collapse it. I really did not want to not use mana that turn, and didn't like what the other options were, really, so... Really? I thought his keyword was just bad. I didn't think I was censoring anything. Maybe it was the S word. But I thought it was just bad. Because it's so nice, clean, elegant keyword. Bad. We could use our mana and bind that thing. But they're gonna... I'm gonna let it pass if they don't do anything else here. They're not putting a lot of pressure on us, although not finding a 5th land is annoying. Although missing a land drop may make them more bold and allow us to Judgment in response to an effort to adapt that hybrid. And we do have Absorb, so I'm not going to bother with a Duelist here. And they're just passing. All right, I'm going to let it all go. Great, we found another land. All right, well, I'm going to play a Duelist. Oh, I should not have let him use that, let it use the planes. At some point, they have to adapt, and at that point, we're going to get a nice big value hit. Although we only have 1 white, so we actually don't get Absorb when we do this. And if they are looking to play this Judgment game, I have no problem with it. They can just sit there attacking for 2. I'm going to keep Absorb up, no problem. Also, you know, they could just main phase it. They could main phase their adapt, and then it would be okay. That's fine. That's good to get there. I almost thought not to do it because we do have binding, but we'll just bind and it'll be fine. We only have one white. We can't judge. Could bounce it though now. No reason. Really want more white. Because I thought they would do it without that, and we had. I didn't think that would work, basically, but we'll do it. We'll do it now. I'd have to go back. I'm already far enough away from that turn that I can't answer that question exactly, Vestige, but I did think about it and decided not to. I can't, but it's too far away from that turn now for me to remember what my thoughts were. Gotta judge while the judging is good. I mean, they're playing this game, but like what I was thinking is that we could, here's my thought. We block the duelist with block the hybrid with the duelist and biomancy the duelist to make it a 2/3 and bounce the arbiter, and then they have to, and then we can summary judgment and response. Maybe that's just fancy play syndrome though. Yeah, East, you're saying don't fancy, but I don't think it's fancy to really want to pursue a mana value. But the fact is that fancy play doesn't produce any different result that's great for us. So I will do it now because the fancy play didn't like turn this into a blowout. All it was literally a fancy play, right? What I was looking for was like, oh, and by this, because of the biomancy play, we actually get extra value out of it. But bottom line, in the scenario, in the fancy play I described, the biomancy ends up being a 0 for 1, you know, a tempo play with no great value. So that's I had to kind of work it through to reach that conclusion. Yeah, we'll slime here. Given the vigilance, I probably should have just slimed during my turn while they were tapped out. If we get countered here, we deserve it. A couple of bindings, biomancy and prying eyes make me feel pretty good about where we're going from here. But obviously, big plays from Oppo could change everything. Trolley B. The Notorious. Get that bread, etc. Yeah, I had a different thought in mind. Like, when I didn't attack with a duelist, I was still in the mindset of doing fancy play syndrome with the biomancy. So I abandoned fancy play syndrome too late to attack with the duelist, is what happened. That's more white, which is good to see. Well, they're showing counter magic, but if so, they're really weird about it because they had a chance to counter something important and didn't. So we're going to bind now. There's no reason not to, really. East didn't like that. I don't know why, but that's what we did. this might be an update on my car. Oh, my phone's not around, though. I'm going to decline. I'm sure that's just an update on my car. Okay. The mana is just not that important, right, East? I mean, the worrying about that 3 is kind of similar to me worrying about the adapt tempo. It's like the mana tempo isn't the central part of this game. I already eliminated Frack. They didn't have a counter. I don't know who thought they had a counter, but there was a play that they would have absolutely countered if they had one, and they didn't. So I just did not have them on a counter spell at all. Scribe to the top. That's annoying. If we can get this Prying Eyes resolved, I think we'll catch... We'll re-solidify where we're at. We get to cast this. We don't get to cast... We only have 2 white. Very frustrating. We did make the decision to go 11-9, but we should... statistically, we were very unlikely to have this little white available to us right now. Sphinx, unfortunately, just trades with the Griffin, but with the Biomancy, it has the chance to beat it. But we're going to start with Binding again, and we'll just have to do our other stuff next turn. Yeah, that's true. I could have gone for the Biomancy to trade with Griffin play here. I think I like going for the Biomancy to straight up win with Prov. Like, we just take 3 here. We're not under so much pressure that I'm not willing to set up Prov and Biomancy next turn. Great, more white. And I totally think they're going to do this. We get to Biomancy. They should offer the trade for the Griffin. I mean, this has Vigilance, so there's no reason for them not to attack if they're going to make that trade eventually. And then we get this funness. Well, they got something in their hand that could ostensibly respond, it seems, but maybe it wasn't enough to make a difference or something. Maybe a fairy duelist or something. That's pretty good, and we even get to cast it after we resolve all this stuff, and that looks good. I'm going to main phase this. Oh, do they have Quench? No, I guess not Quench. I'm going to ditch the lands, but we're not going to bother with the tether right now. Yeah, it might be Quench. Might be Binding, but I think they'd use the Binding. Or do they not have enough to pay for the Prov? I don't know. We're going to keep Capture available. No need to use all of that white. Let's try this. Yeah, I think you'll find support for that position around here, True Killer. We run Expose as a one of and best of one all the time on this stream. We'll go ahead and play this, and I'll go ahead and tether the active Arbiter. Pretty good if they're looking to do that at this point. Try to get a counter onto this duelist and mix up our squad a bit. There's an argument for making a 5-4 as a better threat, but I like diversifying my threats and making this duelist real. All right, well, they got that one. Is that going to be enough? We get to... Does it have trample? It does have trample. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess we actually have to play not for card advantage, but for tempo here. And we will forego the card on admonition to bounce this on their turn. And then I think we have just enough... with Mungo absorbing some of the damage, then I think we get there, yeah. This should work. Right? Or maybe it doesn't. We just need a... Yeah, we need... it'll work because we bounce it, and then Humongulus eats enough of the trample damage next turn to not die, right? And I'm going to put both, like, here, because if for some reason this admonition play doesn't work out, we're going to want to try and trade for this Wrecking Beast. I don't think Quench is going to... Like, they're top-decking, so their cards are going to be whatever they top-deck and Wrecking Beast, and I didn't think worrying about keeping Quench available for that was relevant. Why do we need to bounce? It doesn't matter when, right? They either play it next turn or this turn, and then we block next turn. This can have haste, so it doesn't really matter. Great, and that even got him to do this, and now they don't even get that back. Although we could... Yeah, we just want to do this. Obviously, that's bad news because now our 4 points in the air is severely diminished, but I still think we had to do that. I don't know what other play we had. Like... We could have saved the Sphinx and taken 1 point of trample and lost the Humongulus, and then recast the Sphinx to have something that still doesn't trade with that. Or actually, yeah, it still didn't even trade with that, so that wasn't a good... Yeah, I think we just... they had the perfect Slime Bind, which, again, they top-decked. So they top-decked removal to get them out of this spot. And now we're the ones up against it. Oops, that was, darn it, I was looking at chat trying to figure out how to survive and then died. Sorry, everybody. I think I was probably dead there, but that was just a chat distraction. Welcome to the wonderful world of streaming. What does chat think I should do here? Dead. No worries, let's just get this third one, okay? Do we want to make any changes? We did see, did we see anything up in the air? We brought back down... Yeah, we saw the Griffin. But, like, was there anything other than the Griffin up in the air? Huh. I don't think one Griffin is necessarily worth bringing this in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run this back like this. Gotta mull that, unfortunately. This we can work with and try and recover with prying eyes, I guess. What's up, Oppo? They're tanking? Must be tanking? I don't know. Wow. Yeah, we'll keep that. Buy some time. Find our acuity. Yeah, we'll play the gate. I should have been... That was a little lazy. Given all of the counters we've shown, I may have wanted to show that there, although anybody's going to know that if I could have countered the Aeromunculus there, I would have. So it's not like we lost too much in the information war there. I could clear the mind... I could wait until some adapting before we add munition to try and get some tempo value, but this player seems pretty sharp, and I doubt they're going to invest too much into adapting, given all the bounce they've seen. So I'm just going to do it now. And now the quench is really well hidden, because they know we would have quenched the other one. We didn't. Do we want to clear the mind here? It's pretty weak, clear the mind, but I don't think this game is going to come down to that. And I want to use my mana and also tap low. Yeah, that's reasonable. I'm rewatching Arrested Development with my son right now, and that show is so good. What's the Bluth family motto? Family first, unless there's a work thing, right? I think that's. There's always money in the banana stand. There's a lot of family Bluth mottos. I need a favor. One of their family crest phrases. Nice. We get an acuity, and unfortunately, they have a counterspell that can't be quenched. So maybe we wait. We have prying eyes. Let's wait. I'm going to wait. And if they go to Aeromunculus here, then I'm going to main phase Prying Eyes. Or not main phase. I'm going to respond with Prying Eyes. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to Prying Eyes now. And what are we ditching? Probably we can get rid of a land. And this Duelist not looking great. I think we can... The Quench is getting less and less relevant, but I think there's enough counter wars and stuff happening that it will be relevant. So what do we want to give them? I think we offer the Sneak. It doesn't really have many ways to get through. They probably counter this, and then we can try resolving something we care about even more. But this is a good one to give them. I mean, if they want to give... Yeah, okay, that's cool too. This makes me not want to play that, though. What can we play? What do we want to play, if anything, here? I'm going to pass. Note they're out of white, though. Part of what might be going on here is that they have no white mana, and we may want to be trying to press our advantage while that's true, but this just smells so countery. I really don't want to play the Ram until we feel like we can land it. And that's fine. There's their white. So that's going to get real. More land. Maybe tempt them with an Acuity? That's actually really good for us, right? I mean, all this is good for us. We want to probably set up to be able to go Quench Essence Capture. We have 4 blue, so if we use 1 blue, that still works. I'm going to give him an Acuity. Good call on the Mystic, and then we get to capture here. Maybe we should have tried the Ram first. But we get to do this. That didn't suck. Biomancy. Maybe I should have tapped differently. Yeah, how did this tapping? I let that happen. That was me, I guess. No, I guess we had to leave. We went white, white, blue. That's all we could do. Right? Yeah. All right. I'm going to quench it while we got it. Too bad they didn't do that during our main phase. We would have bounced the Acuity. All right, that's a good draw for us. Double, you know, we got 3 cards that work with Acuity now, and they're down to Quench mana in terms of a response here. So let's land... Ooh, they can't... If they do Quench, I don't think it's Quench. Maybe it's Quench. What's the most important thing to do here? Probably the most important thing is to land the Ram. So let's start there. This was a bad tap, though. I shouldn't have let it tap the blue. Gotta let it use white here. Did they pause? There's a pause there, right? Yeah, it was terrible tapping. Should have Biomancy available. We can try and then, gosh, do we need to take 5 here? and just play around Quench forever? Yeah, only one green too. That's a good point. I'm just trying to figure out if we're trying to play around Quench or whether we just give it to him. If we play around Quench, we need to take 5, but then we get to start attacking back, and we get to start gaining life. If we don't want to play around it, then what we do is force them to use mana on their turn. If they Quench, it's 5 anyway. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I know I have double admonition. Let's give him a binding. Sorry, I'm tanking a little bit here, but they got big green where the binding could be a big deal. I'm going to follow through on my original plan here. See if they do anything. I think we're okay at 11. I'm going to be... The big fear is big green hasties, really. You don't like my line here? So you don't really care about that dude. Jester don't like my line, I think, but I'm okay with it. Let's admonition. Well, maybe I suck and we're going to lose the game because of it, but... I think we're okay. And that gives us everything I want over there as well. We're clocking them really well. We can Biomancy potentially and try and get our sneak back. I don't think that really matters, I guess, though. Probably still better to just try to tempo them with the Biomancy. Okay, we let that happen. I see. I know, Jester. I know you don't think I suck. I'm just being self-flagellating in with a wink. You know, I know I don't suck. But magic is hard. So if we deploy, well, this just like we don't have a response here. Yep, I won't. Dyer's open mana, so there's that. Your turn it was? What do you mean? So, let's see. I'm just trying to figure out how to use this Biomancy here. If this gets a Quench, then I'm really not... That's okay. So let's try and draw that out with this. And we don't have anything in the air, so I'm actually going to bounce... I'm going to try and bounce one of their tokens, see if that works. I don't know why I selected both. I find I always select both with Biomancy whenever there's anything remotely okay to do. We get admonition for the other one. We get insight, so we get 3 more life from, or 4 more life from this combo. Yeah, that's why I wanted to keep the binding for the big greenies, and really the arbiter is a problem as well. I should have saved 1 damage from that attack at the end of turn, or at the end of my turn. No, I wanted they had Quench available, and they could have done it then. So Quench was available to them, so I'm not sure why you wanted to do that then. I don't think it mattered. Maybe I should have done it before combat, though, I'll give you that. But I definitely should have waited till their turn. Yeah, I know. Oh, they tapped out for deploy. Yeah, I suppose I could have. Let's see. But I think I'll get back to that in a second. It was actually, it didn't give me a chance to. I resolved the spell and it sent it to their turn. Yeah, we'll do this. Gyro was untapped, but it was summoning sick. But it literally didn't give me a chance to do what you were suggesting. Sphinx cannot make it down and survive the quench, so I'm going to do Acuity again. Ooh, cool. Judgment. Maybe we get the hybrid. Oh, no, we don't, because they're going to do that. Maybe I've messed this one up, folks. We'll see. Now we don't really have attacks. We're at 9. Resolve that. We could be in trouble if they have counter magic. We're going to have to play like they don't. Or actually, we'll just do this block. We're not looking to get that sneak back at this point. It was not a reaction to my own spell or ability. I disagree. So we're gonna find out if they have Quench. All right. Obviously, it could have been a lot worse. So, how do we live now? We need a binding on something. We need to... probably binding on the unblockable, right? So we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 goes to the binding. 3 to the admonition. And, yeah, let's start with the binding. Sphinx trades with arrow, and then we admonition. Maybe the hybrid. How do we deal with this hybrid? Chump. Yeah, attack with ram first is sensible. We could admonition the hybrid for a card now and bounce this back. Let's make Sphinx. And yeah, let's just set him back. I think if we tempo him out here with the hybrid and dig, this works for us. Ooh, tether is good. Tether is very good. Ah, but we're dead. Yeah, I think I screwed this one up. I bet there's Finkel would have won this match. Y'all are right. I thought we had the room to be a little greedy in that mid game. That was a pretty good game. I think I don't know if that was good enough to put in the great games, but it was an interesting one because I had reasons for what I was doing. It wasn't unjustified. I wasn't playing wildly. I thought we had the life gain engine to allow us to play around the quench. And then they didn't have a quench, so basically playing around a quench that they didn't have ended up really costing the match there, so that's unfortunate. But let's see if we can't get to profit yet. We did have a foul to give, so we're only down a match. Ugly. Cereal. Double blue, double blue, double blue, double blue. White, white. Well, not a bad mold of 5. Gates are generally good, but we're gonna need to find some action. This is pretty actiony, but I'm gonna play up planes to at least have the binding ready. I guess I'll play another gate here, though. Well, the Ram's going to be happy and the Sneak isn't. I'll put a full control on here. Let's make him think we have some sort of instant. This is actually a good spot for the pause bluff, and it's like if we did have a counter, we might decide not to counter that. So again, this is the control bluff you can do to suggest you have something to do at instant speed that could be cast on this board, which we don't, but you know. We just had a mirror match. I want the advantage match. Well, prying eyes should help us get back in it, but let's start with see if they stop to do anything about this admonition. With them doing a bunch of nothing, I'm kind of expecting counterspells back at me. I'm doing it with single control. A single strike of the control makes it stop for the next action. But it's the control shift that puts it into hold full control if you want to do it constantly. But it's actually not a great bluff because hold full control looks different than the auto stop does. Yeah, we have lands. Also, you know, continuing to worry about counter spells. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Thing is, if we play an island, then we have Prying Eyes +2 land, which is not the worst. I'm not thinking this is a quenchy situation exactly, but I'm going to play the gate. I'm gonna wait on Prying Eyes. I'm gonna keep. Well, we'll see. Let's see what they do here. Certainly, we'll Prying Eyes at end of turn if. And I wanted the gate because it does make the ram so much better. I'm gonna try a binding at the end of this turn to bait a counter. Feels like it's counter. I mean, just stop. Oh, and activate the ability stop. Sure, we'll do this. I thought they would play something better, which is why I certainly didn't do it, you know, ahead of combat. But since binding stops activated abilities, I think that's fine. Yeah, I'm just going to wait. They're showing all the counters. Now they don't even have pressure. And everything we do operates at instant speed. It's not great, but okay. I'm going to continue to try and get him to do something here. Prying Eyes feels really important, and they're screaming counter magic, so I'm gonna wait. Okay. If they recast that, we can probably Prying Eyes, and then we're only playing around Quench. Nope, they want to keep their, they want to keep their counterspell up. Okay. Hey, Michael, thanks for the follow. Let's give him another shot on this. I shouldn't have played the land. We're kind of saving for Prying Eyes. I'm just being not thoughtful in my haste. Well, there never shields down again. Playing loose, indeed, Peas. Playing loose. Not proud of it. That's not bad. This is a silly game. Admonition that Frilled Mystic. Oh, yeah. At least I've played so many lands that if they Frilled Mystic the Admonition, we can Prying Eyes. Actually, we'll let them... Let him counter the Sky Tether. Yeah, when did this become a constructed control mirror? All right. Lost our RAM there, unfortunately. We'll get it back with Clear the Mind eventually, if it comes to that. But with 9 mana, we can actually look for the Frilled Mystic as well with the Admonition. Wow, they let that happen too? I'm going to go with Clear the Mind. Don't you think? And do this. Ice doesn't like my play, but I did it. Maybe Ice should be streaming. I know I'm playing lands, and some of it is laziness, but also, if we do resolve a Prying Eyes, like, we're going to want a lot of land. I promise I'll stop now, though. We will not play another land other than a gate. Speaking of gates... And honestly, if we play the Prying Highs and they counter it, at this point I practically think they're sniping. Like, we've given them so many great targets, including that Admonition last turn. Anyway. Oh yeah, I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. I won't. So let's go. Let's pass this, though. They're wide open. I guess we could do... See, I did it, East. I stopped. I'm just so, like, in a card draw deck, I'm playing, I just want to play, I want so many lands, you know? Want so many lands. There, oh, I didn't click it in time. I was going to say, there's an argument for Prying Eyes here, but we know they're going to come back with the Colossus. See, and it's not going to matter anyway, because we're going to finally try the Prying Eyes, and it's going to get countered. Yeah, you're right. But look, we got there. And look, I had 2 lands to discard, so I did it perfectly. I don't know what you're talking about. And we got a Binding for the Colossus. That's great. I could have Duelists there, but I just untapped. Again, I'm playing a little loose here. Not sure we even wanted to. Why did we want to do it after the resolution? Any reason to wait? I guess we could do it there. That's probably the place to do it. Make them interact with it on their turn. So we'll keep that stop. Drop in a Locket. Sure. I think that still lets us do everything. I love that we have a binding for the Colossus and a thought collapse for anything they can do about the binding. I hate that, New Brew. Sometimes you just want to cast a red spell. And all they do is give you wins instead. Six mana gives us capture. You can do duelist capture and get a counter on it. That leaves us with no thought collapse, though. And that makes me a little worried. I'm not going to worry about the counter. I think it's more important to keep up the thought collapse, right? Especially since we are smelling mystics in the like, and we've seen some, didn't we? Or did we? Maybe we bottomed it or something. Incubation, go ahead. We'll thought collapse whatever they successfully incubate if it's relevant. Ooh, that's a good one. Gotta collapse that. It's effectively another Colossus for them, except it also draws them a card. I'm gonna pop the locket now. See what we got. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, well, definitely insight. Great. Tether is perfect. We found our second answer to a second Colossus, and we even have our best win condition from getting there from here, given that our Ram is in the graveyard and can't make it through 8/8s anyway. $13 to $11. Man! 10. Looks like the font has an outline on it now that makes it a little more readable. That's cool. It's gonna be a tough matchup. We have the tethers and bindings for Colossuses, but they've got all the admonitions to get them back, so yeah. Oh yeah, we're going to tether that guy. No question about it. And we're going to start trying to do some kind of damage somewhere with something. Sneak, I don't think we have any gates left, do we? No, we have one gate. 10 to 12 on the card front. All right, that's bad. But we can still try and get there on decking them. We just have to deal with this pesky Dude, which Slimebind plus Humongulous does. They might just have a bunch of essence captures and we're not playing creatures. Would not surprise me to... I don't... They might just have a random Clear the Mind because it's not that bad of a card in any context, but certainly a deck with 2 Gate Colossuses doesn't think that their win condition is decking their opponent with Clear the Mind, right? We'll play a sneak. Oh, Humongous can't block it, yeah. Maybe having it be 4 toughness at least, 4 power gives us enough time. Good point about the lack of blocking, though. Mungy's not doing much of anything, and we're trying to win on decking, or we're just going to lose. To 8, so we can go ahead and draw 1 extra. That is a sign of a kind of a Clear the Mind deck. So, not sure what that's about exactly. We might just see Clear the Mind for the Heartbreak here. Come on, we just need a little more help. Little more help, deck. At least make him have the Clear the Mind. Let's not lose to the Colossus. What face? I don't know what face it was. Is it, I mean, you got it. There's a VOD. Go back and put it on loop in a clip for as long as you want, Oni. Well, I need to get, right now I don't have a list of my deck. Actually, I could look on here. What's in the deck? What's left? Yeah, it looks like Deckmaster's not letting us know, and I don't have MTG. Maybe MTG Tracker isn't doing it either. Maybe there's something about the new code that is affecting that. Well, we could always, so we can, if it comes to it, we can gain 3 life to buy a turn by countering our own Summary Judgment after attacking with a Duelist or something. Yeah, I guess Acuity's in there somewhere for a little extra life. Yeah, that's true. I don't need to kill their kill my Duelist. Good point. Go into full control so we can respond to our own judgment. Wait, where did full control go? Is it still there? Okay, it's still there. What do you know? We got a blocker, maybe? Yes, we got a blocker. We got a blocker. And a biomancy. Okay, okay, okay. We can take the one from the duelist on the way back, no biggie. They're 3 to our 6 currently. Eel, you may have. Bounce the duelist? Why do we need to bounce the duelist? What's your play, East? Trying to figure out your line. We don't need to eat theirs, right? We just need to survive until they deck or show us clear the mind. We're at 5, they're at 3, so we can get a couple life in a card here. Why do we... no. We don't, oh, okay, Rob is joking. Admonition is fine. We won't even... No, we don't have a second clear the mind. But if they don't have the one, we should be good. Nah, we got... No, it did. We've already resolved it once. We've drawn a whole bunch, so we use clear the mind to be just slightly ahead of them on cards. Trying to decide if we want to even bother saving the sneak here. I don't think so. Two. Oh yeah, there's the RAM we got back. I always thought we didn't have our RAM anymore, but the Clear the Mind put it back. Again, I'm really not concerned with eating their fairy. You guys, some of you seem concerned with the wrong things. Why do we care if their fairy is dead? We care if we are dead, or we care if they put cards back in there. Let's see. So now, do we just lose because they mill us? I guess we do. Bummer. Yeah, we even have the clear the mine, but we couldn't quite get there. This was a good game. That is a tough break. Maybe we shouldn't have cast spells, but we had to cast a spell eventually to not die to the eel. I mean, we could have gone like block, take one. Actually, yeah, we could have. We maybe could have done it without having to cast a spell, but that's pretty tough. Yeah, I'll cast the admonition. But wait, it doesn't draw us a card. We don't draw a card, right? Because we're in... no, it's our main phase. We do. Okay, yeah, we do. Great. So let's go send the eel back. Oh, I saw that and thought maybe we found a counter, but no, we don't have a counter. Applied Biomancy. Nope. Good job, Oppo. I don't know if we do. We don't know our deck list, but we're taking the... It was still the only way out, right? So we took our shot. Well played, Joe Barg. Well played, chat. That was a... I think that qualifies as a good game. This match is not going to go well for us. I think I may not play much longer than than noon today, because our best defense against their double Colossus is our Slime Bind, Essence Capture, or really it's our Binding and Tethers, but they have the bounce to make those ineffectual in the long game. Maybe this means we need to try and win a little faster. We could actually go a little more aggro and go vampires. Yeah, our library was empty, Peas. So, anything else? We can't cast that. Yeah, this is really only question is whether going aggro with vampires does anything. I don't think we can go aggro in our 6 creature deck. We just have to accept that. It's also why they all have removal always ready for us. We could take a Quench. Yeah, Quench. We were getting pretty tight in those areas, so Quench seems fine. Reclamation. Where's the What reclamation are we talking about? Oh, for the reclamation, for theirs, you mean? I'm going to cut a locket and do this. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I don't care about the wilderness reclamation, though. Like, that wasn't really the problem there. All right. That was a mold of 5, right? So we did all right for a mold of 5. I bet if we had that hand plus a couple extra cards, maybe we find a way. We know shields down on Quench so that we can be shields up on Thought Collapse and Quench. That might have been an interesting Quench. You never know how important an Open the Gates is to somebody. It can be like a Stone Rain Quench. I'm going to follow the philosophy of quench it while you can. Not a very impressive thing to quench, but quench it while you can. Definitely not worrying about a growth spiral. And if they go for a Colossus, we'll let that resolve and try to tether it or bind it. Definitely don't care about a duelist. Looks like they have a bad hand, but ours is a bad hand against a bad hand. Alright, we'll let that eel happen. I'm going to go on the tempo plan here with that. Oh, Acuity, you're just a little bit late. Just a touch. They're probably going to replay the eel, and we'll just Acuity here. But that really stinks, to come right after the admonition. They showed the Thought Collapse. We have a Thought Collapse, though, so we can get into a Thought Collapse battle if we think we have to. Maybe I should have bound that. We're at 20, though. I want to use these on Colossuses, because especially since they do have bounce, like, the first one isn't even going to take. But maybe we can't just sit here and take 5, so I don't know. It's a tough spot. Although they didn't do anything? What are they doing? Well, let's take it to my turn. Then, at least if we do this main phase, if we want a Thought Collapse, we get the Acuity back. Yeah, let's go for a bind here, and maybe the Thought Collapse will... I'm going to do Sky Tether. Yeah, Peas. Slime Bind was an option, but I like Sky Tether as well. 5/5, you know, just putting the brakes in the 5/5 is fine. Yeah, we'll try a collapse on that. That's collapsible. Alright, we milled one of their Clear the Mines. If they don't have another... So that either they brought that in, or we were not going to win last time anyway. This one, the duelist is just going to attack us 14 more times or something. Alright. Well, we knew they were going to use their admonitions to answer our auras, and that's what makes this a super tough matchup, especially given the quality of the things they are saving. I mean, the eel's like their worst. We could just bind it again, but I want to see what we draw. Duelist, you say? I guess now we slime bind it. Because then the fairy duelist can block it. Yeah, duelist does some work here. All right, there's something to bind. Well, if they got a hard counter, it doesn't matter if we wait to untap or not, so I'm just going to do it. Perfect. Sorry, True Killer, no insight for you. I could have gone Sphinx, I suppose. I just wanted to get the acuity back down. Feels comforting, I suppose. But really, I should just put the Sphinx down and started beating. Did we have... Maybe we didn't have the white. Well, they decked us with Thought Collapse. I'm so not tilted. Like, our chances of beating a deck with two Colossi whose game plan is to... where our game plan is to put auras on them to stop, and they're just full of admonitions. Like, we're just not... We are very unlikely to win this game or match. Ram getting big will help. But let's make threats. See what we can do. We're going to take this one. We have more gates. If we found another gate, the Ram could actually trade by itself. And we're also going to get some life back. All right. Well, we got some stuff to do here. I would insight, but this admonition actually sends the Colossus back, which is relevant to us. Yeah, we can attack with both. The duelists are going to bounce, but in case they wanted to chump for some reason, the duelist gets in and the prov still holds off the duelist from cracking back. And if they can effectively deal with our prov, we're toast anyway. Our only hope, and this actually does increase the, you know, it tries to increase the clock. It's just, I don't know. If they ever want to chump, we'll be glad to get the extra 1 in. And let's go ahead and Acuity. Nice. Absorb is fine. We can't Insight and Absorb, though, so we will see if we can hold back this stupid Colossus for a little bit with an Absorb before they inevitably put it right back on top with the gate. But still, we're trying to buy time to win in the air, so even though this Colossus is far from gone, it may give us the time we need to actually win. Especially if they don't have a gate like now. Or if they don't have their second gate Colossus like now. Still, we can still find an answer. Please? Yeah, they had it right away. They had it all. Makes it so tough. We're not out of it. We keep finding stuff. So we'll bind this one. And then that leaves us with 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 after that still lets us do Prov and Insight. So let's start with the Insight, actually. There's our Clear the Mind, and Bind, and Sphinx. No, I don't care about the clear as much as I care about trying to connect for 7 more points of damage. Again, let's count mana. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 on those. Mainly we can do these two. Let's start with an Acuity then. There we go. I want to do that first because now we can get the duelist out of the way. And do we just win? Or maybe with this trample we just, like, see, okay, I think we just win. But I want to get this right. So we Biomancy and we make our Ram and 8/8. We bounce the Colossus. And then we're attacking, and they have 7, oh no, we come close. Right, he flashes the duelist back, but we can bounce the Colossus here is what I'm thinking. But it doesn't, because this gives us 8, and it tramples, it only tramples over these two for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I see 6, not 7. I don't think I win, but I think it gets us close, so we'll do it. Oh, good point. Good point, good point, good point. Very good point. I like it, Vargan. Because our Ram has trample. So the bounce effectively fools him good. Now, if they're smart, they'll put the eel on the Ram as well. That's, let's see if they figured, they didn't find it, so great. Wowie. Good work, Vargan. Thanks for the reminder. So now there's no changes. We're just up against the... was that needlessly risky? Well, if you can show me the actual winning line, then I'll say yes. But everything I saw there showed me 6 points of damage without the trample trick. We couldn't play around a counter there. We were like, we'd seen nothing on that front the whole game. I mean, on that, the recent turns, you know, nothing. It would have had to have been top decked, is what I'm clumsily trying to get at by my read. And I guess we just run this back and cross our fingers. Can't remember if I dropped a land that turn. Looks good. A little early for our clear, but we're not throwing this back. Be interesting to go back and watch one of my early drafts in the format and see how much I hate myself. Not really, but you know how much your opinions change about a format over the course of it, such that if you go back and look at your early work, it tends to not hold up. Well, probably not gonna duelist here, but we'll see. We might. I guess we gotta start attacking. Yeah, I still do. Still like it. Again, here we are again facing two copies of the same rare that they, for some reason, put it uncommon. That's my biggest problem with the format, as those who hang out with me often have no doubt heard by now. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. Duelist. Duelist of their own, unsurprising. The Gateway Colossus. I think winning game 3 is going to be about finding new Prov Sphinx quickly and getting there with it before they can get up to their shenanigan level. Or we get lucky and their admonitions disappear on them and the bindings and tethers actually work on their good stuff. We've shown him some stuff that might make him not block there. Let's see. We can try the Knight Arbiter, but they're showing counter. And if we keep this Essence Capture up, we can maybe get a counter on our Duelist. And we have a Flash Binding if they resolve something amazing. I'm not going to... although there's an argument that since we have our CDM, we can just go ahead and try. I want to give it one more turn to see if we can sneak a Knight Arbiter through, though, because it's actually the kind of clock that may be important for us to steal a win here when we don't like our matchup. We got to get something that's going to get some damage through. That's frustrating. They're not cooperating. Well, now we're going to try because at least our follow-up is Sphinx of New Prov. The trouble is I think it may be Essence Capture. They showed us Essence Capture, right? I really don't want to make that into a 2-3, but I guess we've got, you know, stuff we can do in that case. Yeah, this is a pretty, it's become a pretty controlling format, especially around here on Arena. All right, I'm going to be patient. We've got Essence Capture. We've got... Oops, we have no need to... there's no discard happening here. I'm going to give it one more turn to see if they'll do something first, if they'll blink first. Well, what are we doing here? I don't want to do that. So we're going to go to our turn. Cool, we found a gate. That's what I was hoping for. Land. I'm going to give him the Arbiter. They're going to counter this and it's okay. If they don't, fantastic. They may even get a counter on the Duelist. I'm giving them Arbiter because I'm hoping that with shields down, they go ahead and resolve something like a Colossus, and then next turn we can do Sky Tether and Sphinx, and then hope that that's good. We can't just make them have something, we have to try and win the game. And the only way we're going to win the game is through Sphinx of New Prov and Azorius Knight Arbiter. And so we can't just cavalierly make them have it. We got to figure out how we get there before these things get us, you know? And now we get to start with the Tether. And when that fails, we get to follow with the Binding. Oh, it worked. Okay. Probably means they do have Essence Capture, which is a real bummer. Probably means this is getting captured and we'll have to clear the mind our threats back. But I don't think they're going to go... they're going to tap down under blue-blue if they have Essence Capture at this point, so we might as well attempt to resolve it. I don't think this is going to work, though. All right, it did. That's great news for us. And we'll do that and get an attack in even, maybe? They're still up to something over here, so we'll see. This time, let's go ahead and admonition the Colossus. Yeah, that's not quite as annoying, is it? Also, maybe it just fades out. Maybe, I don't know, I guess it stuck around. Oh, why did I do that? That was just dumb. I thought we were still in bounce situation there. I'm not thinking. Little punt. That the duelist is not worth much to this game, but that's still a punt. Especially if you have an essence capture, because we could have made it relevant. But I don't think that's going to be the deal maker, the deal breaker. I think that's a streaming and talking one. Trying to figure out if I would have made that punt if I were just sitting by myself playing. I don't think so. I'm just going to collapse that. I love that they've used one of their admonitions on something other than saving their Colossus, because that means this binding is more likely to stay good. Mungie can come out and play, sure. Don't want to clear the mind yet. I want to wait till much later in case we have to drag this out much longer. Yeah, Petitioner's a reason to... Petitioner's an interesting counter to Colossus True Killer. I hadn't really thought of that, but it's a little fancy play, but if you have the means to kill it but just not keep it dead, you're not wrong. Yeah, love it. Love your 4-mana mulligan. In this case, I'm not saying it's completely worthless in all cases, but it doesn't seem good here. Stick with us, Sphinx, please. Pretty please. That's either great for us or terrible for us. Let's find out. It's kind of expecting a chump here. Yeah, so it's more in the terrible side of town. Can we even do anything? We can't even kill it or... Yeah, no, we just have to say... Bye-bye. And... how do we need to clear just to... like, we're not going to deck them before they deck us. Maybe we just clear now and try to find more pressure of some kind. Yeah, I'm going to do it. That's not bad. This at least gets through the duelist, so we can counter and bind creatures they play. And too bad the other clear the mind isn't in there. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna absorb it. Maybe maybe Ben Stark doesn't absorb that, but I feel like I don't want him to have the card and like we could counter what they drew, but then they put everything they put all this quality back in their deck, and I didn't want the quality going back in their deck. That was my thought there, Ice, but I'm not sure. So clearly a bind here. And a little luck on our side for the rest of these draws would be great. We do have draw 4, discard 2, which I was trying to hold lands for before, but I actually want those lands also to be able to cast the things we draw, so, you know. Yeah, it was a tough one, DS. I do not know whether we were right there or not. Oppo has so many good cards. Every time they draw, I feel like we're about to be doomed. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, Sneak is very reasonable. They can't really block it. They can't afford to block it. Would have liked to have seen something there, but keep crashing. Hope they went land there. Yeah, Ice says, I'd let it resolve. You aren't winning by mill this game. Countering this wasn't about not losing, or not... Countering this wasn't about winning by mill. It was about threat density and countering the thing that would draw them a card instead of the thing they draw off of it. All right. They taking 2 or giving us a card? Not giving us a card, so they're taking 2. And I'll hold this land in case we do draw. If we drew the draw 4, discard 2, I'd want the land right now. All right, all right. We'll start with Acuity. Essence Capture is great with the Colossus on the way. That makes me feel a lot better. We even have Thought Collapse. I think we got this one. Is it possible that we got this one? Holy mackerel, I need to set up a great matches we'll put this on the Sneak. We need a great matches segment. Wow. Wowie wow wow, folks. Incredible. That was one of the most unlikely match wins I've had on stream. When we went down a game against the cards we saw, I was like, well, we'll give it a shot here, but I feel like we're about 5-10% in this matchup. But we found it. We found those percentages. That's magic. Woo! 3 wins. Let's talk a little about this invitational here. So I've looked up the co-streaming thing, and I'm going to give that a try tomorrow. We'll do some co-streaming tomorrow. I considered just taking tomorrow and Friday off, but I'm not going to do that because the current theme for my Starting Soon Song of the Day is the best one I've ever come up with, so I got to keep doing that. What about Owen? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. And then, but I decided what I'll do is we'll give this co-streaming thing a try. Maybe I'll take some breaks from it and go play limited. I'm not sure how it works. If I can switch between my stuff and their stuff, probably. I think I can switch between theirs and mine. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But in any case, because I'm also going to stream for a shorter time tomorrow, I think, and on Friday. Oh, really? Owen is not in the thing anymore? And BDM is. Interesting. Wow, BDM just got a tap on the shoulder. Come play for 250K. Cool. Excuse me. That was... Where's Dionysus? That counts. So anyway, I was getting to the point that I'm going to play. We're going to finish this out. We'll play until this ends today because I'm going to stream shorter tomorrow, and then what I'm going to do is try and actually practice some commentating a bit tomorrow. It's going to be awkward because you can't really commentate over. Like, commentating is about doing it with people in the booth who are aware of your talking. So I'm not going to do something stupid like trying to play a guitar solo alongside your recording of Nirvana or something. I'm just saying I want to practice describing the action of a match a little bit, see how that goes. And then, so we'll do that. And also, if this is the first day that I think it would even be possible for anybody to figure out what my starting song of the week theme is. And if you want to make your guesses, I have a song to play for when somebody figures it out. But we'll see if we can figure it out today or not. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll probably cut that little rambling out of the out of this. But my point is that we are going to keep playing. But I need a beverage. I'm not going to do a song or anything because I just want a beverage refresh. So I'll literally be right back. Alrighty, here we go. Hooray, hooray, we have hit profit in a traditional draft with a free-to-play account. We're coming out ahead on gems, and we are going to get prize boosters that will get us closer to closing out our 4x. We're close to 4x of everything. I think we're at about we need 15 rares and about the same number of mythics, I think. All right, we can keep this. That's usually a sign of Rakdos. When you see that Footlight Fiend coming early. Ooh, Plague White is rough. Oh, gosh, especially with that Essence Capture just a little late. Well, this Fairy Duelist is Rakdos intolerant, so it's going to try and eat that Fiend. Land Juggler. Nope, Trumpeter. All right. Well, we're short as well. Gonna have to hope the Essence Capture gets something good, and maybe if they do it pre-combat, we get an actual blocker. That's why I kept it back, too. On the off chance they had tried Trumpeter pre-combat, we'd have a 2-3. That's why I left it back. The extra point of damage isn't going to matter as much as the chance of preventing some. No land, though. Now we are going to threaten to trade with the white. Fairy did good work. Good work there. Trading off for 2 creatures. Trumpeter has Menace. And we'll just summarily judge the Trumpeter. I guess it doesn't really matter. We could do it during their turn, but I'm going to just do it now. Is there red pump spells? I guess there's nothing that pumps toughness in red. And that would have been a reason to, like we decided to take the Fireblade Artist out instead. So we'll keep that in mind. It's been rough to be land stuck here, but we can still come out of this. If they don't haste us here, I think we might be able to stabilize, but being stuck on 2 against Rakdos is not how to win many Magic games, honestly. I guess we have to admonition, find a land. Let's see, if we admonition here and find a land, and then untap and say draw another land, do we have anything? No, we untap and draw the Sky Tether. So yeah, we get, we admonition the Roustabout, we get Sky Tether back, and well, Acuity doesn't do enough for us. Like, that gets us 2 life. That gets us to 8. We draw a card, and then take 3, 4, 5, 6. That is not how we win. We gotta send this Roustabout back. I don't see any other way to stabilize, because the Sneak can't block enough. There's our land, and if we get a Sky Tether off the top, then we have a way to stabilize. They must have Skewer. I wish I wasn't so damn good at that. Vamps come in this time. Haven't really had the Vamp matchup, but this is... Although Vamps are pretty weak against those double Fiend. Maybe we don't play all of them. I don't know. Probably don't need the Volley. They're pretty low to the ground, which can make Quench good, but it can also make Quench not worth it. I think we do play the other Duelist. Yeah, the trouble with Quench is that they're playing such cheap drops that they can end up having the 2 a lot for it. And then they'll go double spell. You'll frequently get your man with it or whatever, but I like the idea of the second Duelist for sure. Mungulus, let's ditch Prying Eyes as being a little much to try and pull off. And Locket is going to stare at us laughing on turn 3. That's just never going to happen on 3. Is a second Vampire better than, like, Clear the Mind? We're also not going to be worried about Clear the Mind here. I think I like that. Quench was on the fence, on the edge. I decided not to, but wouldn't have faulted you for putting it in. We'll keep this. This looks good. Updating my record info over here. This was 0, 100. The Fiend is back. We have the Duelist again. We'll see if that works again. It'll be our only real option if we don't draw an untapped land. If we do, we'll just drop the gate, or the ram, rather. And instead, we will just gate it up. And now we've kind of telegraphed the Duelist. If they're paying attention, they know we have it. Yeah, they figured it out this time. We're not going to not do it, though. And I'm going to offer a ram as a pretty big thing, but it's not big enough to, like, on a 5/5. I don't want to block with it yet. I'm just going to throw out the... We can also... Actually, let's do this. Let's, we need to find land, so let's send the roustabout back and go digging. All right, now we will try offering a vampire in the way of that roustabout. Maybe I shouldn't be attacking with a Duelist, but I figure... Oh. Oh, definitely should not be attacking with a Duelist. Ouch. All right, Duelist. Stay back. Now, because we got land starved again here, I'm afraid I'd like to go find one, but we're going to play a ram, and we just now have to hope the ram stabilizes. I feel like we're probably going to trade the ram for a roustabout and a removal spell, but that's actually not bad. What I really don't want is they just have get the point here for the ram, in which case I think we fold this one up. I don't see many other choices besides doing this. Maybe they thought that was gonna make the roustabout trade? Or maybe, I don't know why they did that. All right. I didn't talk about whether or not we should block the 2 or the 3 because it dealt with more things. But Scorch Mark was so narrow there to play around that I'm okay with how we did that. And we're not completely dead here yet, despite the lack of help. We're going to play the Sneak to put on the caster. And then if the Sneak lives, we get to maybe attack with it and try and find land. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, folks? We had the most amazing match ever, followed by, hey, win on 5 total land across 2 games there, Azorius. You're only up against Rakdos, no big deal. This is a sure 3. This takes it to 5. We block this, so we're going to 1. If this is nothing, though... we're not dead. Then we can potentially Acuity into Biomancy play that keeps us alive. If we dove in now, how do we live? East, I don't understand. We go dove in, draw a land, play Biomancy, and then bounce this and take 4. Like, I think we play the Sphinx and hope that it can play defense successfully. This puts us at 1. I can't play the Sphinx? Uh-oh. Did I just die? Why did I just die? Yeah. We play the Sphinx. When we're up against it here, we're just trying to find a way to be, stay alive. We presume they have nothing. oh, you can't, period, play the Sphinx. The nature of my chat window is such that the line break was after you can't. So I didn't see the period. Well, folks, we did what we could, you know? We did what we could. Aggro Rakdos, you got me, but it's only because we didn't have our land. We had that so wrapped up. Oh, man. Give that matchup to me again. I want that guy again. I think we take that most of the time. But that's right on the heels of winning a really exciting match that we lose most of the time. So there you go. That's good, East. East says, my 3 favorite things are eating my family and not using commas. My friend and former colleague, Kelly Diggs, had a lot of grammar-based humor t-shirts that he would wear. One of my favorites was let's eat grandma, and then let's eat comma grandma, and then it says like punctuation saves lives. So up and down kind of day. Really wanted the victories because of pride and whatnot, but that was great. We had a fantastic match, and I think for the first time I am going to put a match in Game of the Day, because that match against the Double Colossus was fantastic. Open some packs. No, we're close, East. We are close. If we spend the rest of this week watching and commentating, we might not get there on stream. If we play, we'll see what we want to do. I may just go ahead and play Magic for a dozen people tomorrow if everybody else is watching the big event. I think I'm kind of my schedule naturally falls at a good time for it, in that if I do choose to play, it won't be over like the really tense end stuff. It starts at 7 a.m. tomorrow Pacific.
Glad to be here. Your problems are my profits.
Right on, Kaya. Glad to have you on the team.